Glad you're here. Today we are diving deep into the actual mechanics of personal transformation. We're looking at Marcus. Now, Marcus was a warehouse worker who built this massive, unstoppable future and a literal million-dollar mindset long before he ever saw his first actual dollar of success. It's an absolutely fascinating case study in how invisible work creates highly visible results. Let's get right into it.
Okay, to really understand Marcus's journey, we have to start by looking at his reality. Every single day started at exactly 6 a.m. Beep! Marcus scanned another barcode, he lifted another heavy box, he pushed another cart, and he just watched another hour disappear. The warehouse never changed, the shelves never changed, and his routine definitely never changed. For most folks around him, the only goal was just counting down the minutes until they could clock out. But Marcus? Well, he started counting the days until his entire life changed.
Now, this brings up a pretty profound question. One I want you to really think about for a second. What actually happens when you stop believing you can become something else? This right here is the absolute emotional core of today's explainer. Because when your dreams are permanently replaced by mere survival, your reality shrinks. And honestly, for a very long time, nobody believed Marcus would ever become successful. He didn't even believe it himself.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Trap of Lowered Expectations. Surviving, not dreaming.
See, Marcus grew up in a neighborhood where dreams, well, they rarely survived into adulthood. People worked incredibly hard, but life just stayed difficult. Bills were a constant stressor, unexpected problems caused total panic, and the good opportunities, they always seemed to belong to somebody else entirely. As a kid, he heard this exact phrase over and over. People like us don't get those chances. And hearing that constantly, it essentially programs you. When everyone around you, teachers, neighbors, family, when they're constantly lowering their expectations of what's possible, you slowly start lowering your own. By the time Marcus hit that warehouse floor, he wasn't chasing dreams anymore. He was just chasing survival.
Let's move to Section 2, the catalyst for change, a 28-year warning. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer weight of these words. The warehouse work was brutal. Long hours, strict deadlines, constant pressure. At first, he was just grateful to get a paycheck. But after 2 years of this suffocating cycle of wake up, work, eat, sleep, and repeat, he hit a wall. One afternoon on lunch break, he asked this older guy who had been working there for 28 years if he ever regretted staying at the warehouse. The veteran worker paused, looked at him, and said his regret wasn't staying, it was stopping. He said, "I stopped believing I could become anything else." Wow. Those words followed Marcus all the way home. It perfectly highlighted the absolute danger of letting your belief in yourself expire.
Which brings us to Section 3, Building the Daily Habit, the podcast spark. A few weeks after that chilling conversation, Marcus is unloading inventory and he throws on a podcast about growth and responsibility. He wasn't all that invested at first, but then one specific concept cut right through the noise of the warehouse. Your future changes when your daily habits change. That quote struck him like lightning. He had this crystal clear realization. For years, he wanted a different future, right? But he just kept repeating the exact same behaviors. He was making the exact same excuses. If he wanted a different outcome, his behaviors had to change immediately. So that very night, he commits to a brutally simple framework. Step 1, make a small but firm decision. Step 2, spend exactly 1 hour, just 1 hour, every single day improving. Step 3, do it no matter how completely exhausted those warehouse shifts made him. It was a simple commitment, but as we all know, simplicity is often the hardest thing to actually execute consistently. Now look at this incredible contrast during his first year. On the outside,
His external reality was rough. He's enduring these grueling shifts, his progress is totally invisible, and some coworkers are even actively mocking him, telling him to be realistic. But look at his internal reality. He is reading, studying, taking massive amounts of notes, and building this undeniable discipline. He was generating this huge, quiet momentum in the shadows. His personal growth became his silent response to all the criticism.
All right, moving into section 4, the true value of growth, the breaking moment. Fast forward 3 years. The company drops a bomb. Mass layoffs. Panic is everywhere. Nobody knows who's staying and who's going. Marcus is terrified. Until he looks at his massive stack of notebooks. Thousands of pages of learning. So, the crucial point is, he realized something amazing. Even if they fired him, his knowledge was safe. His daily habits, completely safe. That unbreakable mindset he'd forged, 100% safe. He realized that even if he lost his job, he hadn't lost himself. For the very first time, he understood his greatest asset wasn't a warehouse paycheck. It was his own personal growth.
And that sets up section 5 perfectly. Preparation finally meets opportunity. The logistics job. A few months later, a job opens up at a small logistics company. Now, Marcus didn't apply because he felt ready. I mean, nobody ever feels totally ready, right? He applied because he finally felt prepared. He walks into that interview, confidently shares ideas, explains systems, and presents real solutions. He got the job a week later. And this brilliantly illustrates how his preparation compounded over time. Years 1 to 3, he's preparing in the dark when absolutely nobody is watching. Year 4 brings the actual opportunity to present his solutions. And years 5 and beyond, because of that foundation, he wasn't waiting for opportunities anymore. He was actively creating them, managing massive projects, and just watching his success skyrocket.
Many years down the line, Marcus is driving right past that exact same warehouse where this whole story began. The loading docks, the parking lot, the whole shebang looked completely identical. But looking at it, he just smiles. Because he finally realized the warehouse wasn't a trap where he got stuck. It was simply the launch pad where he got started.
You see, true transformation isn't just about getting a bigger paycheck. It's about becoming someone capable of creating your own opportunities. It's that deep realization that while your external circumstances or your job can vanish overnight, your skills, your discipline, and your mindset, those remain yours forever. Opportunity always arrives after preparation, never before it.
So listen, if your life feels like it's stuck on repeat right now, do not underestimate what just 1 hour of daily improvement can do for you. Small actions become incredibly powerful over time. The person you are actively becoming matters infinitely more than the situation you happen to be in today. Ask yourself, if an amazing, unexpected opportunity knocked on your door tomorrow morning, would you actually be prepared or just wishing you were? It's time to decide. I want you to drop a comment right now that says, I will outwork my excuses. Seriously, put it out there. Claim it. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer today, and I'll see you in the next one.